Hello and welcome to this tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to paint meat. This tutorial is aimed at beginners. If you're already above that, there are videos down the pipeline that are more complex, but feel free to stick around. For today's session, you should pay attention on your hand-brush coordination. Now that might have sounded more complicated than necessary. Just pay attention to how you're holding and moving your brush and how much paint you apply. This painting can be done with oil or acrylic colors on paper or on canvas, whatever you like. Depending on which type of color you're using, you might want to get thicker paper, especially for acrylic colors. For demonstration purposes, I'm using oil colors and painting on cheap printing paper. With oil colors, you can paint on pretty much any paper you want. Let's head over to the brushes that have been used here. Brushes are your standard flat and round brushes like pictured on the left side. The ones you see on the right side are optional. If you wonder what the third one is, it's a dagger liner. It's nice to have, but not necessary for this tutorial. Brush sizes depend on your canvas. The bigger your canvas, the bigger your brush. You will get a hang of it over time. So for now, just use whatever you have at hand. Let's get over to the colors. I won't read out the names here, but the ones used here are listed down in the video description. It is not necessary for you to have the exact same colors that I'm using here. Take the color chart as a general idea, so whatever you have, use that. You can mix and match colors to your liking. Now you might ask yourself, where's the black? Short answer, we won't use it and we won't need it. So, if you want to paint shadows or tone down colors, you should combine the colors you want and mix it with either a dark brown, red, green or blue. The reason behind that is that shadows are not really black. The general rule of thumb here is, if you mix dark brown, green and blue together, you create a more vivid black than using a pre-mixed one. Alright, we are almost done with the pre-work here. Generally speaking, you should always work from a reference. You can use the one from the video here. This might be even easier for beginners. Or you can shoot one yourself. Maybe do multiple shots to have it in a similar angle as the reference here in the video. Your next step is to do a pencil sketch on your canvas or paper now. You don't need to go much into detail, just try to hit the general shape with a few outlines. You can pause the video until you're done. The overall approach here will be to work on all places at the same time. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Just in case, you can always let it dry and apply paint on top of it, or simply paint into it while it's still wet. It can have a nice effect. Squeeze some paint over your mistakes. By the way, your sketch is only a sketch. If you paint over your lines, that's fine. You will paint over it more than once during the process. Alright, let me fixate the paper with strips and we are ready to go. Our first step is to mix a pinkish red and cover the top side. Simply mix white and red together. Alternatively, you can also use more turpentine if you're using oil and more water if you're using acrylic colors. The top will be brighter than the side, so make the top more pinkish and the side more reddish. This way we can give the object more depth. You can also add red outlines at the bottom. Our next step is painting the flats on our meat. We will add a white outline around the red parts. You can mix white with a tiny bit of red together and apply it on your paper. For the parts on the side, mix red and white together, but use more red that it gets darker. Our next step is the background. Mix your dark brown together with your red. If you want to make it even darker, you can add dark brown plus red plus a dark blue. But keep in mind, the more blue you add, the more you go away from brown. Try to find a balance for yourself. So I would recommend sticking with dark brown and red for your first version. Don't worry if it touches the white or red sections of your object. You can always paint over. Now here's a fun idea. If you keep the edges of your canvas lighter or maybe add orange to your brown, you can make it look like as if your meat was sitting in a pan. If you want to go with the idea of it sitting in a pan, you can add white dots and short lines below it. You don't need to make it look perfect. Even with only a few dots and lines, it will remind the viewer of cooking oil. If it didn't go the way you wanted it to go, you can simply paint with dark brown over it and try again. Just try things out and see what fits. Working wet in wet can help here. You can consider your first piece done now. If you want to work further on it, I would suggest that you add more texture to the top side. You can do that by leaving stronger brush strokes on your canvas. Simply apply more color on your canvas and don't mix it with your brush. The mixing happens on your canvas. So take a big scoop of red, plus another red maybe, and then apply it. Otherwise, if you want to stop here, you're done. Your first piece is now ready for showcase. And here we are, ready for showtime. I have also done a couple of variations. That way you can see how you can apply the same workflow on different references, maybe. And here they are. And boom! 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 And this is how they look framed. If you liked today's episode, click on the like and subscribe button. That way you will get notified when the next video is coming out. If you want to see something specific, then write down below in the comment section and let me know. Alright, that's it for today. Thank you all and bye bye.